figure out what to do. Welcome, everybody.
Good morning.
Hello, hello. So I'm just going to change a few little things so that it's speaker view. Okay, and I'm also going to mute everybody. Welcome, welcome. Alrighty. Wow, got a minute to go. Should I wait? Nah, kick it off. What the fuck? Eclipse waits for no man. Or woman for that matter. It's been and gone. So, oh wow, what an interesting couple of days leading up to this time. It's been just extraordinary. I've been in this weird zone of floaty, and yet there's been a lot of intensity around me. And then this morning, I had to laugh at about 5 minutes past 7 when the eclipse was due to be exact, I think. Well, certainly it was exact at the full moon. My car alarm went off. I'm thinking, ah. And then half an hour before the call this morning, the car alarm went off again. I'm going, what are you trying to tell me? So I'm sure there's a message in there somewhere. And I'm sure that at some point it'll all become clear. But right now, I think we'll focus on the fact that it is the new moon in Aquarius with the partial solar eclipse today. And so there's been a lot of stuff flying around, and I've been reading up some bits and pieces because sometimes it helps me to read other people's stuff to get clarity. And the message that seems to be coming through most clearly is that question mark of here we are working to learn to be in the collective, because that's what the Aquarian energy is all about, being a part of the conscious collective. But who are we in this environment? Who are we? So it's about coming back home into self and understanding who we are in the bigger picture. So I'm really curious to see what the cards have to say today. And thank you, Bella, for your little thing. Yeah, you've said that your car alarm, it's a sign, it's the third one. Her car alarm went off yesterday as well. So today we have Anna Marie, we have Tara in the US, and we have Bella in Brisbane. Anna Marie is south of the border in terms of Australia. Goodness knows where all these calls come from. I don't know how many people watch this video, so I'm being a little bit Aussie-centric, but I so love it that you join us, Tara. It's gorgeous to have the extra faces and the extra energy from other parts of the globe. So I'm going to draw a card for the collective, and this particular card is called Rebirth. Well, the collective has a message. When are we going to start moving out of the sleepiness and slow functioning dopiness of being the camel, stepping up into identity, which is all about the lion? And the lion is, if we look at the lion in terms of astrology, it's all about the look at me, look at me. And then, of course, we've got the childlike energy moving up beyond that, which moves more into the innocence of our spiritual capacity. So we're moving out of a space of consciousness. So this is interesting in terms of, empowerment and what I term as self-empowerment or divine sovereignty, taking full responsibility for self. No one can make us wake up. All we can do if we want to wake up is start looking at the signs and seeing what messages we're getting. And as we start to read more, as we start to take in more information, we start to question our environment and we start to look at what really matters to us and where our values really lie. Are they values that we've learned from family, or are they values that are evolving with our own experiences and saying, well, we love our family, but those values don't sit with me anymore, and I need to change those for me. And so this is that evolution. So I get this message that with Conscious Collective, we're moving through a rebirth. And I think that's a really powerful place to be, and how auspicious for, the Aquarian new moon, which is all about the collective consciousness and moving up into self, but in the most conscious way possible and in the most responsible way possible. So I think this is a beautiful message for everybody to receive. Yay. Okay, so first cab off the rank is Anna Marie. And let's see what the message is for Anna Marie. This was an interesting one. This is called guilt. And this card here is about how we let our thoughts and the way of thinking override us, and it can drive us into a state of I sense an element of manic. And where are we allowing guilt to drive us in some way, shape or form? So thinking more deeply in terms of the aspect of sovereignty or self-responsibility and empowerment, having a good look at, you know, what are the stories that you're carrying from the past that might be from family, from your environments and your experiences, and looking to see how they might unconsciously guilt you into acting in certain ways. And is it what really serves you? It's a bit like what I mentioned with the rebirth card, you know, looking at what our values are and our belief systems and going, okay, well, you know, do these belief systems, do these values really serve me? And this is really showing you where the thought processes and the belief systems can really drive you through into a space of craziness, just because it's a learned behavior. And where is it time for you to say, okay, goodbye to those? So because, you know, family has a way of guilting us, man, they're fucking good at it. But more than anything else, it's actually how we buy into the belief system and letting that go, really looking at the belief systems and owning them and going, okay, when I say own it, it's like own that you don't want to be a part of an old belief system, and then look to create new ones. And what process might you need to do that? Well, that's a bit hard to say, because whether there's, you know, going to see someone for work on it to help you clear this stuff, or whether you do it on your own is, you know, either way, you know, the fact is that you're looking at this whole place of where you get caught up in guilt and you want to do something about it. And so, you know, that's the best part, wanting to make a conscious effort to move out of the old way and the old ways of thinking that, you know, have come from family. And, you know, and past experiences as well. Belief systems can come from past experiences in ways that we don't often expect to come up and say hello. It's like, really? That's still hovering? Fucking hell. I can't believe this. This is not real. It's not what I want. So we've got to look at it and go back to what happened at the experience and actually unravel it and say goodbye to it and lay it to rest, you know. And if you need to work with other people on this, then, you know, it's okay. Everyone's got permission to do it in the best way they know how. So, and asking for help is a good thing. Okay, so that's Anna Marie's card. Next one is Tara. So Tara's card. Gosh, we're rushing through these quickly. Should I slow down? Just feels like there's a lot to share. So, okay. Tara. So this card came up last month as well for someone else, but it's quite powerful. It's the compromise card. I had to have a look at it because I couldn't see it that clearly in the video. The compromise card is really interesting. This is really showing where your experiences or what you're going through is, you know, you're somewhere standing in a place of looking at all your options and then wondering, you know, how do I get this done, and do I have to compromise part of myself to do that? And that's a real big question, because when we start to compromise, we can lose ourselves as well. And is that the right thing for you to be doing? It is okay, genuinely, if it is the right thing, but really knowing it from a place of clarity and not doing it just to keep the peace with other people. You know, if you are genuinely in a place of recognizing that compromise is actually going to be a good thing in this circumstance, then by all means, whatever's going on for you, step towards the compromise. It's a good thing. However, if you're doing it to keep other people pleased, you know, like keeping people pleasing or just to keep the peace, you know, therein lies a big issue around giving your power away to that other environment that is really calling on you to work in their way because their way or the highway kind of stuff. But is it the right thing for you to be doing? And that's a tough question to ask yourself. And this energy of the Aquarian new moon, you know, like the push and pull, we compromise a lot with culture. This is huge. Our collective consciousness, our Western culture forces us to compromise in ways we don't like, but sometimes we don't even know we're doing it. So this is a good time to have a good look at all of that too. So that's the compromise card for Tara. And Bella. Bella has a card. Here we go. Bella's card is creativity. So this beautiful card is really asking us to, you know, own our creativity. You know, we all have a creative spark in us, women in particular. have the, you know, the amazing creative ability to birth new life. You know, the masculine energy sparks new life into being by, you know, the sperm hitting the egg. And I was watching some videos the other day, and the power of that was quite fascinating, watching these little flashes come off an egg when the sperm actually hit it. But the creativity happens within the feminine, and that's a really powerful thing, because we birth it through our bodies, and we birth it through our very being. And, you know, here we are today looking at, you know, well, where am I not allowing my creativity to shine forward? And if that takes a masculine energy to come in and spark off, then brilliant. Why not? I think that's you know, it's a perfect thing to recognize that, you know, you can't make a cake without several ingredients. You know, it doesn't just happen. Don't just open the oven and there's the cake. You know, it takes several elements to bring it into play. So, you know, allowing your creativity to step into play and recognizing when you might need others to come in and support you, or to spark something off to kick it off, is brilliant. And I think that's this is a really lovely reminder that what you're capable of, this beautiful creativity, is just hovering to be, you know, brought forth. And of course now with the Aquarian new moon, you know, or new moon energy anyway, we're seeding. This is the perfect time to seed new ideas. And the Aquarian energy is also about innovation. So how can we do things differently? What's that going to take? What could it look like? I think that's really exciting. So beautiful card there for you, Bella, creativity. And Rachel has just joined us. So we have another person. And so I'm just going to draw a card for Rachel. And this one here is called Aloneness. So this one's a tough one to recognize or to come to terms with, because, you know, sometimes when we're going through massive change, you know, it feels like we're the only one in the middle of this big pile of shit, and there's nothing we can say or do that's going to make it any better or to fix it. But actually the irony is that shit becomes compost, and compost is where things can grow from. And having that recognition that we're sitting in it alone, sometimes it's what we need to do, because we need to be on our own to allow this stuff to brew. Having too many, you know, people put in their ideas or their thoughts or their, you know, their perspective can sometimes be meddling with the creative process or the allowing of something new to come in. So sitting in the aloneness is really powerful, and it feels really fucking lonely, but the reality is that changes. And it moves, because energy moves. We don't sit in the aloneness and the loneliness for years. It actually moves minute by minute, because it's our emotions moving in and out. It's just that when we're not aware of it, it feels like a never-ending story of aloneness or a loneliness. But it isn't. It actually moves all the time. And when we allow ourselves to sit in that peacefulness, this little figure here is staring off into the distance, but what he's looking at is the energy of his source self. You know, and we all have connection to that. We all have the ability to tap into this, and that happens when we're alone in those quiet moments, allowing ourselves to be present to this. So it's a really beautiful card, Rachel. You're really in a place of learning to allow this aloneness and this perception of loneliness to, you know, to be something really powerful. So, you know, and the reality is too, you know, none of us are actually alone. There's the oneness of us connected. And it's just that we get so caught up in our heads, as Anna Marie knows, with her card of guilt, you know, that we forget that all of us are out here being like little beings of light, little sparks of light. And it feels like we're all on our own out here doing our own thing. But in actual fact, we're all connected to source energy. And I love this card, because this is reminding us that we are connected to the source energy when we allow the space for us to connect with it. And that takes the aloneness, that it feels like loneliness, but it is actually the aloneness. And I think that's really beautiful. So you'll actually have to have a bit of a chuckle. I drew a card before we started just to sort of get a sense of the energy, and I drew the source card, which cracked me up, because the whole lot's come back to that. You know, this is all about source energy. I didn't intend to draw it out, but here it is. You know, we all have connection to this, and the source is within us as well. We all have this source energy in our beings. It's technically the solar plexus energy. It's powerful. It's a firehouse of energy to create, and it's beautiful. So looking at the energy here, This is the energy of we're going through a rebirth collectively, and it's painful and it's, you know, it's challenging, but it's very, very doable. And one of the things that we'll be faced with to deal with this is going into our old belief systems and making sure we don't get caught up and torn internally about, you know, what the belief systems are. And if they need to move and change, then we're allowed to do that. And you have a really good look at this card, you'll see the claws grabbing into this head. It's quite intense and it looks really painful, and letting go of old belief systems that, you know, that we live with through our minds is a painful process. And it does feel like a gripping of, you know, in our head of these old thoughts and this old stuff, and it can really be painful. And then, of course, the next step is, you know, where do we compromise in a collective? You know, as individuals within the collective, do we stand in our truth? And, you know, do we compromise and let ourselves, you know, go with that flow because it's easier? And this challenge of rebirth is all about recognizing that, you know, in order to be wholly, truly who we are, seeing where we compromise is powerful. Knowing why we compromise is even more powerful. That's really important. And knowing knowing when it's good to compromise. You know, sometimes it's perfect to go with the flow because you're meant to be a part of that bigger energy and that bigger unity of movement. And then there's other times when you need to stand in your own. And look, it's not for you to everybody. It's me too. I'm as heavy into this as the rest of the planet. You know, learning how to handle this and learning when to be strong in myself. And when we do that, when we actually do learn to be strong, and as we go through our rebirthing and we let go of all the old shit and the compromise and the guilt and the headspace and the mind fucks, then we can step into creativity and we can allow that creativity to move through us, which was really beautiful. And this is really fantastic because we all have the capacity to step up into this. I think that's really awesome. And then, of course, sometimes that creativity comes through being connected to source in that alone moment, that quiet little moment. Sometimes it's only for a minute and there's silence. And that silence, the clarity drops in, or the beauty drops in, or the whatever, you know, that idea just pops through, you know, and that's just such a powerful moment. And then I'm going to come back to this last card here again, the source card. We're all connected to source. We have the spark of life within us. And, you know, reminding ourselves that we have this capacity to connect to source when we need inspiration, to connect to source when we need the motivation to move forward and make change is beautiful. And, you know, because it is challenging. We need support to let go of the old stuff, and we need support to know that, you know, we're not alone. And I think this is a really beautiful thing. So, wow. Okay, well, I've got some comments here from everybody here. Bella actually said, yay, oh my God, wow, I'm feeling so creative right now. That's yes, thank you. I'm not quite sure which means source, as in SOURCE, the source, not saucy sauce and tomato sauce and ketchup. Okay, and Rachel said, thanks so much. So, okay. Bella's having a chuckle. She was playing with saucy sauce. So, well, wow, thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. I really appreciate it. For those who haven't been able to join the call, I'm sure that towards the end of this recording, you'll start to see where these cards really kick in for you, because, you know, we are all connected, and these cards, they'll resonate. They always do. I think that's the beauty of these readings, is that no matter what card or what you're going on in your life, the cards will really hit home. And you'll know which one matters to you most, whether you're stuck in your head, whether you're giving your power away with compromise, whether you feel like your creativity is a bit stuck, or whether you feel like you're on your own. Remember that we're going through a rebirthing process, and that's what really matters. Rebirthing, it's important. And we're all moving up out of the slumber and out of the sluggishness, and that takes time. It takes a lot of time. But, you know, being gentle on ourselves is really important as well too. So thank you very much, everybody. The next reading is going to be the full moon in Virgo, an earth sign. So that's going to be nice, because that gives us an opportunity to ground all these fantastic ideas and see what seeds come out of this thing, and we can actually start to really bring it into creativity, into earthiness, which is something that Anna Marie offers. She's an extraordinary ceramicist and artist, using literally the products of Australia, like all Australian clays, and she does her firings, Sagar firings, I think they're called, and my pronunciation might be shite, but there you go. But basically using products from animal byproducts and other plants. It's extraordinary to see her work. So if you want to see it, check it out. It's called Made of Australia. Her stuff is really beautiful. And Tara, can't help connecting back to Australia, can you? You were only here for a short time, 12 years, but you can't seem to let go. Is it 12? Yes? I can't hear you. 3 years. 13. 13 years you were here. Wow, that's so beautiful. So, okay, great. Well, Bella, who's a salt of the earth, Virgo as well, this is going to be your time to shine, baby, a couple of weeks. And Rachel, I don't know your star sign, but whatever, we love you. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining, and we'll see you next time. Take care and bye.